there, Anikap-sensei here. This is an anime about a cute girl hides her feeling of her crush in Russian, but her crush secretly understands her, and the anime begins. At Seidei Academy, there's a stunning student named Alisa Mikhailovna Kujo, or Alya for short. Everyone's in awe of her as she walks to her classroom. A boy named Ando, thinking he's slick because he knows Alya's sister, tries to invite her to lunch, but Alya shoots him down instantly. Not getting the hint, he asks for her phone number. Alya rejects him again, and this time she tells him to get rid of his yee ass-looking necklace.
What?
In class, Alya notices Masachika Kuze, the boy who sits next to her, is sleeping. She kicks his chair to wake him up. Kuze explains he stayed up all night watching anime and chatting with friends online, so he's sleepy. Alya calls him stupid, but Kuze doesn't care because he loves anime. Alya says something in Russian, but Kuze doesn't catch it and ignores her. Kuze then realizes he forgot his textbook and asks to borrow Alya's. During class, Kuze starts snoozing again. Alya pokes him with her pencil, making him raise his hand. The teacher thinks Kuze knows the answer to a question, but he panics. Alya points to the wrong answer in the book, and Kuze says it. Then Alya stands up and gives the correct answer, trying to act innocent, but can't hide her evil smile. She says something in Russian again. This time, Kuze hears it and realizes she's calling him cute. Alya assumes Kuze don't understands Russian, but he used to play with a Russian girl near his grandma's place, so he learned the language. However, to save Alya from the embarrassment, Kuze pretends he doesn't understand Russian. During break, Kuze pulls out his phone. Alya, as a student council officer, says it's against the rules unless it's an emergency. Kuze says it is an emergency. His free reward in a game is about to expire. Alya gets mad and snatches Kuze's phone and sees a game character with silver hair. Kuze says the character is cute. Alya, a bit jealous, says in Russian that she has silver hair too. She calls him a game junkie. However, Kuze, the proud free-to-play player, gets offended him. Then, they spot the shiny members of the student council, Alya, her sister Maria, and which Hikaru mentions a rumor that she has a boyfriend. But Kuze shuts it down, saying it doesn't matter. Takeshi gets mad and says Kuze is lucky to be friends with Alya, since she usually doesn't talk to anyone. Takeshi thinks his only chance is with Suo, who seems more approachable. To everyone's surprise, Suo decides to sit next to Kuze and the guys, and Takeshi gets excited. So and Kuze start talking about the spicy ramen like old friends, which Alya asks if they know each other. So explains they've known each other since they were kids, which surprises Alya. Takeshi and Hikaru leave the table, saying the girls are too shiny for them to handle. With them gone, So gets close to Kuze and asks if he'd consider joining the student council since he was vice president in middle school. Kuze declines, saying he's not interested in anything. This new info about Kuze surprises Alya, making her a bit jealous. Alya then tells Kuze she's surprised any girl would want to be friends with him. Kuze, confused, points out that she is one of those girls too. Alya is shocked that he considers her a friend. She leaves to do something, but her face looks happier. We get a flashback of a young Kuze hanging out at the playground with a blonde Russian girl. They're chatting in Russian, and the girl gives Kuze a kiss on the cheek as a goodbye. Kuze remembers how he learned Russian just to talk to her, but he can't even remember her name now. Fast forward to school, Kuze is on duty, so he arrives early to clean up. Alya is surprised to see him so early, and jokes about buying a lottery ticket today. Kuze notices Alya's stocking is dirty. She explains that a truck splashed her on her way to school, but she had a spare. She then takes off the dirty stocking, and Kuze, being the gentleman he is, blushes and looks away. Alya sees this and decides to tease him by asking him to grab her spare stocking from her locker. Kuze complies, but then Alya shocks him by asking him to help her put it on. She says it's a reward for him for being a good boy, and slyly says it's a reward for her too in Russian, which Kuze understands. He thinks her displays of affection in Russian are weird, considering how she treats him otherwise. Alya thinks Kuze isn't man enough to do it, but she's startled when Kuze actually lifts her leg and starts putting the stocking on. She squirms, causing his hand to slip and hit her.
Right now, pussy!
So she knocks him out with a leg kick. Things get awkward between Kuze and Alya after that. Kuze apologizes, but Alya also apologizes for kicking him and checks if he's hurt. The shy Kuze pulls back and slips up, saying he should thank her for giving him a peek at paradise. Alya's face turns red, and she knocks him down with a punch, cursing him in Russian. Kuze chases Alya around, wanting to talk it over, and after 10 minutes of running around, they finally run out of breath. Kuze, the thoughtful gentleman, gives her favorite drink as an apology. Alya is surprised he knew her favorite drink and accepts it. She blurts out if Kuze wants a sip too in Russian, still thinking he doesn't understand. Kuze explodes internally, knowing exactly what she said. Suo calls Kuze to the sports equipment room, and she's not happy with his casual response when he asks why he's there. Kuze sarcastically plays along, asking if she's been waiting long. To his surprise, Alya is also there, setting him up for an awkward moment. Turns out, Kuze is there to help the girls sort out the equipment room. Suo asks him to get the board games from the top shelf, explaining that she plays them during student council get-togethers and wins, which doesn't surprise Kuze. Alya, feeling left out, tells them to stop chatting and get to work. She jealously says in Russian to give her some attention too. Kuze understands her, tries his hardest to contain the awkwardness, as Alya continues to throw herself at him in Russian, unaware that Kuze actually understands her. After finishing the work, the student council president, Kanzaki, enters and thanks everyone, especially Kuze, since he's heard a lot of good things about him. Kanzaki's aura points is too much for Kuze, who tries to excuse himself. But Kanzaki stops him, saying he'd like to buy him dinner for helping out. Suo jumps in, saying it's a great idea, since Kuze won't have dinner ready for him at home anyway, trapping Kuze in the plan. Kanzaki is surprised that Suo knows Kuze so well, and learns that they go way back. He invites both girls to join them for dinner. At dinner, Kanzaki praises Kuze for his help, and Suo chimes in, saying Kuze is very dependable, which he humbly brushes off. Kanzaki asks if Kuze is interested in joining the student council, but Kuze declines, saying he's done with it since his middle school experience. Kanzaki mentions that it could boost his recommendations, but Kuze remains uninterested. He's confused why Suo would need him since she's basically the next president, but she says she wants to run the council with him, which he again refuses. Kanzaki then corrects it, saying Suo has another candidate competing with her, Alya, which comes as a surprise for Kuze. Their dinner arrives, and after the meal, Alya and Kuze walk home together. During the walk, Kuze asks if she's truly running for president next year, and Alya confirms it. They bid farewell, and when Kuze enters his house, Suo is on the couch, asking if he sent Alya home, and saying she'll be staying the night. The big twist is that Suo is actually Kuze's younger sister, and their story about being childhood friends in school is fake. Suo, being a huge otaku, made up the story based on her favorite manga about siblings' romance. She gets shocked when she reads in the manga that the big brother kisses his sister, but Kuze explains they could be step-siblings. Suo gets offended and insists the story is only good if they're blood-related. The next morning, Diffie. They then finish watching a movie, which Suo is excited about, and the otaku in her plans to rewatch it, but Kuze stops her, saying they're here to do shopping. Suo is shopping for summer clothes, and Kuze hoes, saying she noticed her long ago. Kuze worries about their fake childhood friend story, but Suo directly says hi to Alya. Alya pretends she just noticed them and says she's there for clothes shopping. Suo invites Alya to lunch out of the blue, which Alya accepts. Kuze tries to stop Alya, saying the ramen place they're going to serve super spicy ramen, but Alya insists, thinking Kuze is trying to avoid her. At the ramen place, Alya's eyes widen when she sees the place called Hell's Cauldron. Suo says the dish names are even scarier, which Alya takes as a challenge. In the restaurant, both Kuze and Alya are confused by the menu, so Suo explains there are 3 levels of spicy ramen. Kuze orders the basic one, and both Alya and Suo do the same. Alya notices Suo dresses more boyishly than usual and asks about it. Suo explains it's her casual wear. Out of the blue, Suo says she was in bed with Kuze that morning because she borrowed his shirt. Kuze panics, claiming Suo showed up and jumped into his bed by herself, which makes Alya skeptical. Their spicy ramen is served, and Alya starts sweating just looking at it. After taking the first bite, her face goes blank, but she tries to play it cool because it's so spicy. Kuze tries to stop her, but she insists it's delicious. The sadistic Suo, enjoying Alya's struggle, hands her a seasoning that makes the ramen even spicier. Alya, still trying to act tough in front of Kuze, accepts the challenge but can't handle the heat anymore. After that, Suo excuses herself, leaving Kuze and Alya alone. Kuze notices an ice cream truck and buys some for Alya, who feels instant relief tasting the cool treat. Kuze tries to start a conversation and asks Alya why she wants to run for student council president. She surprises him with a strong reply, saying she wants to aim higher in life. Kuze then asks if she has a running mate, but Alya says she just needs someone random to help her. Shyly, she speaks in Russian, wishing Kuze would join her. This reminds Kuze of a sad memory from middle school, but he snaps out of it. Alya asks Kuze for help with clothes shopping. Thinking she doesn't have many friends, Kuze agrees, and Alya misunderstands his kindness. thinking he doesn't believe she can become president. Determined to show him she's the boss, Alya decides to put on a fashion show. Expecting mild reactions, she's taken aback when Kuze gives her well-thought-out compliments, making both of them blush and feel embarrassed. Alya decides to dress more boyish to one-up Suo and gets another compliment from Kuze. She continues dressing up, earning more praise, which puts her in heaven. She gets carried away and tries on a more revealing dress, posing for Kuze, only to be shocked when Suo shows up. Embarrassed, Alya says in Russian that she wants to disappear, which makes Suo happy. On the train home, Alya is still suffering from embarrassment and doesn't notice why Kuze and Suo get off at the same station together, leaving her bamboozled.